All right, this is episode number 82. Hey Johnny, welcome back. You been playing any dodgeball recently?
No. A funny story on that. This is how bad it was. Is that when my kids were real little, we lived at a kind of like a double wide trailer
Yeah.
year. This is years ago, and I used to play dodgeball with like my 5 and 6 year olds and 4 year olds,
I
and
hope you were nice.
it was. I think I made a couple of them cry. I wasn't trying to purposely,
Yeah.
but it was still bad. I got in
Yeah.
trouble, but yeah, I tried doing it super slow and nice. But even then, when you're
It's
that little.
just
It you know it
it's
was bad.
sometimes it's just how the ball hits you. If it hits your nose or something, or your eye socket, I mean, it just hurts. And so yeah, what a bad dad.
It
Terrible.
was, yeah, it was. But I tried to make up for it with other things. So hopefully, I know they have forgiven me now. But
That's good.
other than that, I have not, and I'd probably be real bad at it right now, especially
Yeah,
with all the eye problems I've had. I would not want to get hit in the eye.
that's
But
right.
man,
Yeah.
good memories, good memory. Gym class today. I know we kind of talked about this.
Yeah.
I don't think it's nearly the same and as much fun
Oh,
as it's
I
back in
can't
our
even
day.
imagine. Yeah, no, it was so much fun back then. It was almost one of the favorite classes.
Oh yeah,
Um, but so all
absolutely.
right, so last time we were talking about the rules. No playing by the rules because every game has a rule. That's the whole game situation. And today what we're talking about is one of those applications is as I refer to her, Aunt Irma, and I'll let you describe what Irma is and what is Irma, and then let's talk about some of the rules that impact how knowing the rules impact some other aspects of retirement.
So IRMA is income related monthly adjustment amount, but just if you hear everyone calls it IRMA.
Yeah.
So that's what it stands for. But IRMA basically is a way that you have to pay higher Medicare premiums if you make above a certain threshold in income. Of course,
Okay.
that Part B premium. Now, in case you don't know, because we're new in the year still,
Yeah.
the premiums this year for Part B are $202.90. Okay,
A month.
that's what it's going to be per month. The
Okay.
base premium, 202.90. Now, if you a married couple and you make less than $218,000, that's what you pay. But if you go above that, there's an IRMA quote unquote cost increase, or I guess the government says, hey, you guys make too much money, so we're going to take more from you
Right.
for something that you've kind of already paid for. But anyway, um, they take it 284.10. So that's just the next bracket. So there are different
So wait a
brackets.
minute. Wait a minute. You go to two from 202 to $284 a month.
84, yeah, which is about, if you figure it out, about $1,000 more a year. Okay, $1,000 more a year.
Okay. Okay.
That's married, so times two.
All right. Two
So
grand a year.
okay, 2 grand a year, all the way up to the highest earners, which you could be there, but almost $700 a month. Okay, so but there's different increments, and they start going up more and more. Now,
Yeah.
there's no way, Johnny, I'm ever going to make over $216,000 in retirement, right? Or if or 218,000 in 1 year in retirement. It's also a 2 year window. So if you do it 1 year, you're basically going to pay that for 2 years because they look back
Okay.
for 2 years. Okay. And it's based on a single year. So it's not like an average. I made
Okay.
218 this year and I made 5,000 this next year. So it brings me under. No,
Okay. No.
they got that 2 year window look back. But remember, when you're retired, maybe you got a pension, maybe you're getting your Social Security, maybe you even got a part-time job.
Yeah.
But you've got your IRA, could be a 401k, could be a brokerage account, whatever it may be. And I want to take a big withdrawal out of it to do this or that.
Yeah.
That counts as income towards your IRMA situation. So if you all of a sudden go up to the next level because you take more money out of that retirement account, or you do a Roth conversion,
Mm-hmm.
take your IRA to a Roth, and it puts you above that amount, now you're going to pay extra for IRMA, the premiums of Medicare for 2 years. So, all that to say is there are things you've got to watch out for now to make sure you don't do that. Now, sometimes if it comes in with like Roth conversions or different things, you can balance out the numbers and say, okay, if I pay a little extra for a couple years,
Right.
I come out way ahead
Oh
down the
yeah.
road. but it all comes part of, you just don't want to do it haphazardly, right? I got a $500,000. I'm just going to convert the whole thing to a Roth. Well, boom, now you're going to pay
Yeah.
at that level
Up.
700, almost $700, $650 more for Medicare for 2 years for you and
Yeah.
your spouse,
Yeah.
you know. But it
And
still
the
comes down to managing it, you know what I mean, and figuring
yeah.
that out of how to do it.
Well, and these are some of the rules that apply to IRMAA and to Medicare. The rules change. That's why we were talking about last time that you got to know the rules and how they operate. The 2 year look back, that's a rule. You've got to understand that. But also, you said taking money out of a 401k. So if you're going to do a house addition or you want to buy a new car and you say I'm just going to take out 30 or 40 grand out of my IRA because I don't need the money. I'm just going to take it out and buy the house or put on an addition to my house. In your head, I would not think of that as income, right? But it is, and
It's
it
income.
impacts. And that's just the rules of retirement. And so you've got to understand these rules. And if you don't, you're going to get a penalty from the government, right? I can just see the IRS guy in his black and white outfit with his whistle, right? He's a retirement referee, and he's there just ready to blow the whistle to say, "Oh, foul!" And we're going to charge you more money. You've got to understand the rules, and especially when it comes to IRMAA, because IRMAA is going to impact a lot of people that they just yeah, you're right. Well, that'll never hit me. If you're saying that, you need to sit down with Johnny because odds are you might be a good
Absolutely.
candidate.
And then, Steve is our guy that just dives into Medicare and loves it as far as actual plans and all that. But we kind of
Yeah.
partner together on if we're figuring out how much income we're going to bring in. Like, here's a great example someone had. They wanted to um, do some work on a house, and
Mhm.
um, they wanted to buy this vacation property and do some work on it. They want to take money out of their 401k to do it. The other option was, but if they did it to take it out, it was going to bump them way up in IRMAA. So their bank was going to give them a loan, which they would have had to pay for a couple months. So we said, divide it up. Take half of the money out. We'll figure it out to keep you under IRMAA right now. Get the loan. So you pay interest for 3 months. That's way
Yeah.
less than what it's going to cost you for the IRMAA cost.
That's
And then
right.
pay the loan off in January.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, just things like that, planning and figuring it out. It's like, I don't want to go into debt. Well, you're only going into debt to save you on a huge penalty for IRMAA for a few years.
That's
You know
right.
what I mean? Which is going to be a lot more than the interest of 2 months, maybe, or
That's
whatever it
right.
is. If that, so doing big purchases, no interest for 9 months. We'll split it up over tax years so you don't get hurt with the IRMAA thing if you have to. Just thinking about those kind of things because remember, IRMAA's for 2 years
Yeah.
and I'm not a financial loan guy or anything like that. I'm just using common sense the way I would think
Yeah.
is, if I can get half of it down now, half of it down after the first year to separate into the 2 tax years and have to pay an extra $300 in interest one time, to me,
That's a no-brainer.
I am a no-brainer. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
I'm not a debt guy. I don't like debt and all that kind of stuff. But I'm just saying, following the rules of money and finance and things, figuring it out so you don't hurt yourself over a longer term period of time is important. But
Yeah.
just
Absolutely.
some
Well,
ideas. That's one I ran into with a client, and they actually said, what makes sense?
yeah.
Just to get this loan, we'll put a big chunk down. We'll get a loan for the remainder and pay the thing off in 3 months when we can take more out of our thing.
That's right.
Retirement
Yeah.
plan.
Well, and it's just because you and your team, you understand the rules and you can help people plan properly to retire at new heights because that client was able to do what they wanted to do. You just gave them a different pathway to get it done and probably save them a few $1,000s, I would guess. Right. And that's just because you understand the
Yes,
rules.
because they were going to go up quite a bit in their
Yeah.
armor thing.
And the IRMA thing and the rules around IRMA apply then. And so you got to just know the rules. And we're going to hammer this for a little bit longer because it's just important. And so if you get a copy of Johnny's book, he starts out with a great overview of how to retire at new heights. What's the plan? But when you sit down with him and his team, that's where it really gets down to the nitty gritty, the playbooks and all of that. And it's like you let's keep with the sports analogy. When you sit down with Johnny, it's like walking into the locker room, folks. You're working with the coach and you're going to look at your game plan and see how you can win the game because that's really what it's all about. Every team's different, every opponent's different, and you got to know the rules. Johnny knows the rules when it comes to IRMAA, when it comes to Uncle Sam, and any other relatives you have. around retirement. So this is good, Johnny. We're going to keep on this and come back for planning for some unplanned expenses. How can we plan for the unplanned? We're going to talk about that next week.
Absolutely, man. Have a good one. Stay
Thank
warm.
you. All righty.